Bringing us the latest now on the fourth indictment of Donald Trump. The former president has been firing back online. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Tursky has the story. Good morning, Aaron.
Morning to you, George. We're still waiting to find out when former President Trump and his co-defendants are going to turn themselves in to authorities here. But what is becoming clear is the scope of the charges they face and how they're beginning to defend themselves. This morning, former President Trump intensifying his attacks on a criminal justice system that has now charged him in 4 places at once, lashing out on social media about a stolen election. Republican Governor Brian Kemp defending his state, posting the 2020 election in Georgia was not stolen. Trump is charged with 13 counts, including racketeering, the indictment putting him atop a criminal organization that also includes 18 aides, attorneys, and associates, and 30 unnamed co-conspirators, all allegedly conspiring to strong-arm Georgia into helping Trump cling to power. Rudy Giuliani peddled false claims about poll workers stealing ballots.
Quite obviously, surreptitiously passing around USB ports as if they're vials of heroin or cocaine.
Giuliani now says he's being indicted for being a lawyer.
I thought when I was doing this, I was protected by the fact I was defending him.
Mark Meadows is trying to move the charges against him to federal court, arguing he was acting as part of his job as White House Chief of Staff. Meadows allegedly set up Trump's call with Georgia's Secretary of State.
So what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
The indictment details 11 calls Trump made, allegedly trying to pressure Republican officials. Prosecutors also take aim at a plot to recruit bogus electors who sent false votes to Washington. One of them, David Schaefer, says his conduct was lawful, appropriate, and specifically authorized by the U.S. Constitution. The district attorney wants to try them all together.
Do I intend to try the 19 defendants in this indictment together? Yes.
The sheriff says he expects all 19 defendants to turn themselves in at the Fulton County Jail. The deadline, noon next Friday. And George, the sheriff says the jail is open 24/7. George?
We will be watching. Aaron, thanks very much for being our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams. Dan, I want to start with something we first started talking about yesterday. We now see Mark Meadows, the former chief of staff to President Trump, petitioning to move this case into federal court. What are his chances?
It's a serious motion. His basic argument is, I was working for the federal government at the time. When you're a federal employee working under color of law, you're allowed to make sure your case is tried only in federal court. Now, Fani Willis will respond and say, he wasn't acting within the scope of his job when he did this. But he has a decent argument here.
He tried a similar argument. The president tried a similar argument in the hush money case here in Manhattan.
Right, but 2 differences there. Number 1, he wasn't president at the time that the hush money stuff happened. And number 2, it's Donald Trump. So Donald Trump has a tougher argument than the people who worked for him. The people who worked for him, I think, can say, look, he was my boss. He was telling me what to do. I was responding. I was working for the federal government. For Donald Trump, it's a tougher argument where Fani Willis will say, clearly he was extending well beyond his role as president. But remember, even this Department of Justice under Merrick Garland has taken a pretty broad view of what is presidential conduct. And so these are serious arguments that the courts are going to have to evaluate.
If the president fails, does not get this into federal court and is convicted, of course, he has no recourse. The president cannot pardon for state offenses.
Correct. The president cannot pardon for state offenses. And by the way, neither can the governor, per se. It'd have to be a 5-year period. It has to be the Georgia Pardon and Parole Board, et cetera. So if he's convicted in Georgia, there really is no out.
The trial's going to take a long time.
And it's going to take a long time to even get there. And then, they have another case in Georgia right now where jury selection has already taken 8 months in a major RICO case. Just jury selection. We have to get to jury selection first.
Dan Abrams, thanks very much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.